I played 100% of Discounty, the brand new game that lets you take a small, rundown grocery store and turn it into a chaotic corporate business empire, all with some other dark twists and turns along the way. Think if JojaMart had its own game, but this one definitely has its own unique flair. In this video, I not only play the entire game of Discounty, but I achieve every single achievement. And oh boy, is it a journey and a process. I want to let you know that I'm playing this on Steam with a controller, so all of the footage you see is from that. And I also want to acknowledge that this game was very kindly gifted to me for free to play by the developers, but this video that you're currently watching is not sponsored. However, I would like to be as transparent as possible and let you know that I have worked with Discounty before. My voice may sound familiar if you listen to all of the Discounty instructional training videos, and maybe even you listened to the jingle a few times. Everything's on sale proudly.
Where are we going?
Discounty. Get to work when Discounty launches in 2025. So yes, I've worked with Discounty before as a voice actor and to make a couple YouTube shorts, but this video is not sponsored, but it's important that I tell you that I've worked with them in the past, okay? Additionally, you clicked on this video, so I'm sure you know what you're in for, but this is your formal spoiler alert. And with all that said, let's get into it. And here we are, getting started in Discounty. The first thing we do is to customize our character, and I'm not all that interesting. I make every character look just like me, so she's a boring brunette, but I'm loving it. And you know who's not loving it? The bus driver, who has to drive me to Blomkast, and they're like, not to judge you, but judging you. Why the heck are you going to Blomkast? The answer is to meet my Aunt Teller. And Aunt Teller is not even like, come in for tea, let's sit and chat, babe. No, she's like, we're going to Discounty, which is the brand new supermarket franchise she's just purchased. Immediately, the store is small. It's half stockroom, half main floor. It's tiny. There's only one employee, Grace, who is our tutorial. She immediately gives me a PDA, a personal device assistant, which is our main UI and the best way to keep track of our goals, which will become very important to us later on. And then I'm given my tool belt, which is the tiny little inventory at the bottom. Don't worry, it won't stay like that forever. Then we got delivery guys strolling up to give us our first fixtures. We got shelves. We got coolers. The way it works? Simple. Coolers? Well, they're for cold things. Shelves? Other temperature items. That's how it works. And we're given the only items you'll need to sell in a grocery store. For now, at least. We've got oven fries, which if you're me, they're going in the air fryer, even if it says to only put them in the oven. There are rats that live in my oven here in Brooklyn, New York, so we're going in the air fryer. Other than that, we got apples, we got toilet paper, we got soda, and we got milk. I'm gonna pretend it's almond milk, but I think it's from a cow. If your stomach can handle that, we got it. And here I am learning the basics of checking out guests, and if you're scared of numbers and math, oh boy, buckle up. We're gonna refresh those times tables here, okay? But don't worry, it doesn't stay like this forever. So the way it works is each item has a corresponding number. Like this toilet paper is 20. If there's just one, I would type in 20. Since there's 2 toilet papers this lovely guest is getting, I can either type in 20 times 2, or if I'm a math genius, I could type in 40, and that's how it goes. I will say for the most part, I'm trying to do the math because I think it's quicker than typing like 8 times 2 and then tells me it's 16. If I'm able to do that math in my head, I try to do it most of the time, but sometimes I'm nervous and I just don't want to deal with numbers. Now that I've done that, I report back to Grace and she's like, good, you did the little test run. That's it. Go home. I have nothing else for you. And if work is gonna be this easy, this'll be a breeze. Spoiler alert, it's not. And then Teller's telling me the grand opening is tomorrow. Yikes, way to throw it on me. She shows me that I'll be living in this cute little trailer and she says don't mind the creepy shed with the random noises. So for now, we won't mind the shed with the noises. Instead, we'll look at our quaint little van and we're gonna go to bed and officially start day number 1. Now listen, I'm no marketing expert, but neither is Teller because she hands me a stack of misprinted discounty ads and a map and says, go put up these posters around town to advertise our grand opening that's happening literally today. So I go to the bus stop, to the bar, and to this smelly fish harbor to put up my signs, again, for the event that's happening, like right now. Right now! The people came though. They saw and they said, oh my god. And Discounty is in people's minds because these people know the jingle already. They're doing some education connection, 1-800-STANLEY steamers, ba-da-ba, I'm loving it kind of business out here. And you know what? I'm here for it. Grace gives me a clock and I'm told how time works in the game. The shop will start at 9 is when it opens. But if you're impatient, you can go to the open sign and you can just zoom to 9. And it's gonna close at 17. But it's important to know time moves really fast when you're in the store doing your workday, compared to like when you're outside exploring. And then, oh my god, here's Gina, my mortal enemy, which you'll have to stay tuned to the end of the video to find out why. After my first little day, I am introduced to the computer, which lets you do a lot of different things, but for now, we're handling ordering the things that we need from our delivery guy app, so I'll know what items I don't have and what section they should be in. Here I am stalking the back room, and it is frankly, the most organized it'll ever look. Then Grace reminds me to make sure I go home and I don't stay out past midnight because I'll pass out. Then I find out that this is the birthplace of the inventor of the double loop keyring, John Key, and his old building is next door. Hang on to that for now, we'll come back. Then I'm thrown into this cutscene where the woods are cut off and we've got lots of warning, toxic, bad, do not enter. We're introduced to Cornelius Key, who is a photojournalist, and he is here reporting live on the scene, and lets us know that Lapley's manufacturing is in the woods and they're up to something, and we'll have to gain access to the forest. Interesting enough, the game tells you which tasks are going to take a while, and they said that's gonna take a while. And then I'm exploring the town. This is Solruna, who runs Cursed But Curious, but it's not called that. It's antiquities. She can't decide, okay? And she sells things. She sells furniture, she sells wallpaper, flooring, and also crystals. But today, I just bought a bamboo and some blue flooring. And then I'm breaking into people's houses, and I see, this isn't a cat. This is a raccoon. This is a raccoon, and that's not a cat, that's a raccoon, who I pet, and they hissed at me. But that actually gives us our very first achievement of the entire video, 1 of 17. Can you pet the cat? The answer is kind of. And then I'm continuing to explore. Here we are in the Drunken Turn, where we meet Hilda, the bartender who loves to gossip. There's even a stage for you to dance on. And then there's a giant tree that's blocking the whole other half of the map. There is a hardware store over here, but it's currently closed because it's a holiday. Also, don't mind the sheep that you may see throughout the course of this day. We'll come back to it later. Here we are seeing John Key again, the town hero. That double loop keyring, man, really changed people's lives. Then I'm going back to talk to Teller, and I'm like, why are we opening a discounty? Frankly, it's because her old supermarket wasn't cutting it, so she has joined the big franchise corporation lifestyle in order to try to, be more successful. Here I am going to the harbor and breaking into people's houses again, and I meet Fisher, who is, of course, you guessed it, the Fisher. There's also an abandoned auction house. I've never been to a fish auction. I didn't know fish auctions exist. I think that's pretty cool. And then that was Barbara, who works for Poseidon's Gallery, and they make fish sticks. And that was a lot for day 1. It's day 2, and look, we made the paper! Immediately, we are thrown into a cutscene with Teller, who's showing us to the hardware store, which is run by Ted. So Ted sells the different fixtures we need, like the shelves and the coolers, but also specialty items, like there's a fish tank here. We'll get to that though. For now, I bought a couple coolers and shelves, just keeping it simple for my simple little supermarket, and I'm also placing the bamboo that I bought from Solruna. The items like this, the cosmetic items from Solruna, don't have any kind of buffs or anything, like they're not gonna make, well, for the most part at least. There's one later that breaks the rule. They're for decoration. I also put on my blue flooring, and if this isn't Blockbuster, I don't know what is. Welcome to my Blockbuster cosplaying as a grocery store. Here's Miss Anderson, who is always the very first customer every single day. In fact, she actually waits outside until you open the store. Like, she is that loyal, sweet old woman, right? Maybe. We'll see. Oh, and then here's Gina, taking her time, looking for the apples. And that guy, who was angry at me for some reason. Don't remember why. And Teller's like, ha 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 ha, yes, you're ready. You gotta go make trade deals with people around town. You gotta go talk to the farmer. You gotta go talk to Barbara. You gotta go talk to Fisher. And we need to get more products for the store. And that brings us to achievement number 2, Blomcast Beginnings. We are officially starting Chapter 1. This is kind of us breaking out of the tutorial and really breaking into the start of the game. So, I went to Barbara, the fishy sticks lady, and she's like, okay, yeah, if you can sell some of my fish sticks, that'd be great. You'll actually get points. So you have these different challenges, different tiers, and once you do them, you get perks, and then there's skill points. And that brings me to another achievement, the It's a Deal, which is to unlock my first trade deal. Look at me flying through these achievements. That definitely happened the whole time. Then when I went to talk to Fisher about starting a trade deal, it turns out he has a monopoly with Barbara because they make their fish sticks out of his fish, obviously. And Barbara pretty much just like works for her daddy. And so she's like, I need to like talk to my daddy. You know what, let's make a challenge. Here are these really nasty, gross Fishmas sticks, holiday fish sticks that nobody wanted. If you can sell 10 of these, we'll talk about lifting the monopoly we have over the fish that Fisher has. So here I am, buying some more shelves and coolers, and specifically this time, I'm going to buy a seafood booster because when I place that, it'll increase the likelihood that people want to buy seafood. Here I am, stumbling on this giant tree again, and this is when I meet Carl, who is the farmer, and he actually lives on the other side of the tree, but he can't get home. He's just kind of like vibing, and he hates me immediately. He's like, I don't trust people who work for Teller. And I'm like, okay, Jesus. I just got here, and she's my family, so maybe watch it a little bit, okay? Okay. So I asked Teller about what's going on between her and the farmer, and she's like, I can fix this. He lost his sheep. There's 8 sheep around town. Go find them. Luckily, because I had been exploring, I already knew where most of the sheep were. They're scattered all about. You can see me finding them here. Pretty easy to find them. They make a little noise. They do a little bah when you come near them, in case you're lost. So I found all of the sheep in one day because, I don't know, I am one with the sheep. Immediately, the sheep are eating the grass in the park. And Elmer, who is like the councilman, is super mad. And Teller just comes out and laughs at him like, ha ha ha, loser. And so this is her way to convince Elmer to remove the tree. Sheep equals now the tree is gone. Great, now day 3, the tree is gone because the sheep are back. I'm exploring this new part of the map. It is half farm, half very expensive, nice looking house that we'll get to a little bit later. But I have a deal here to make. I want to make my trade deal with Carl so that I can get the show on the road. So I'm talking to Carl. He lets me know he's actually staying with Hilda, who's his ex-wife, Drama. And he says, okay, we could do the trade deal. Let's start out with some oats, okay? Same deal. I can sell some oats, and then once I do that, I'll get some points, and then eventually we can upgrade our trade deal to sell more stuff later. Then I meet Chester, who's the only child in town, and he's a troublemaker. And then I went to buy some more coolers, and I saw that there was a drink booster, but I don't have any drinks other than the soda, so I thought, we don't need that yet. Back at Discounty, Grace is teaching me all about recycling, which honestly goes over my head for a little bit. It's simple, really. When you run out of items in the cardboard boxes and styrofoam, you're gonna put them in the machine. But you wanna do 3 of a kind. So you're gonna do 3 cardboard to get a cardboard stack, 3 styrofoam to get a styrofoam stack. Otherwise, you get a mixed stack and you can't actually recycle it. But I walked away and I didn't actually see the stack come out, so I was confused for a little bit. I accidentally opened the store. I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally opened the store and I'm not ready. I was trying to put out my 2 seafood boosters. I bought one and then I was given one, I think is what happened. So now I have 2. They are not optimally placed, but we're gonna have to live with it for now. business is booming. People are buying my yucky fish sticks for some reason. And it's going. I unlock a new page in the checkout menu, so now I gotta do a little flipping back and forth. And you can see what happens when you run out of an item. People actually have little question marks. Luckily, I still had some milk, so this person was able to get the milk they wanted. And I closed out the day, and I didn't do too bad. Luckily, I'm not being judged on my performance quite yet. So here I am looking at the booster and trying to figure out what is the best way to display the items to actually get the optimization of the products. And in the end, I come out with this, which I don't think is a bad layout. Believe me, I make some worse layouts during the course of the video. Day 4, we made the news again, kind of, because we helped that tree get picked up. Day 4, I go into town hall for the first time. I totally ignored this building and I didn't know about it. Here I'm introduced to the printer, which is not great. It runs slowly, and right now all I have are misprinted discounty posters, but if I hang them up, I'll get more customers. Then I bought a cute little sunflower, and I run into Ted, who's telling me about the recycling. So if I bring my cardboard stacks and put them in the cardboard, I'll get some money. Bring my styrofoam stacks, put them in the styrofoam one, get some money. Anything else I could throw in the trash and I will not get money. And then I see a produce booster for the first time. Again, it's too soon for that. I only have an apple. I've got an apple and a dream. And then I meet Derek, who's one of the last NPCs that I haven't met yet, but there's more, and he runs the bank. Then the computer, it's getting an upgrade because I'm introduced to discounty challenges where every day there's different challenges and every week there's challenges, and you get points that will unlock more items for the store, mainly different produce, or I mean not just produce. I was looking at the lettuce and said produce, but any other items, you can get them there. Tip that I don't listen to, look at that. Look at that more. Use that. The beginning of the shift, look at that. You can even like cycle out challenges, and then maybe you'll get points faster. I don't do that, but it's okay. I still did one of the challenges today, as you could see, and I finished the day strong. I had 1 point to redeem, so I wasn't sure what I wanted the most of first. I decided let's just go in order for now and let's get some white bread, because I knew that I had a lot more shelves than I had coolers, at least, to spare, because I had like a lot of oats that didn't need to be there. Whatever. Also, I sold the fish sticks, the gross fish mist sticks. I sold enough of them. So now I've unlocked the trade deal with Fisher, and he is selling me these lovely, lovely gray bony fish. Yummy. Can you tell I like seafood? It's not my favorite, but you know what? I'm excited to have another trade deal cooking in the store. Something I also want to mention, when you buy stuff from the hardware store, you can have it delivered. So sometimes I go to the back of my store and pick things up. That's why. Okay, so then I told Teller we did that, and she's like, cool. That's enough for today. Go to bed, baby. Day 5, and Teller tells us it's time to expand. There's an old tea shop that's next to Discounty that's been abandoned for a while. So I have to go talk to Elmer, who again, he's like the town hall councilman. And he's like, okay, you gotta go talk to the owner of the land, who is actually Gina. Gina, who works at Delivery Guy. So I have to wait for her to come shop in my store and see if she'd be willing to sell me that land. Then, oh my God! It's a disaster in here. I don't know what Grace has been up to, but the store is... It's not looking great. So I'm introduced to the cleaning mechanic. I only get 2 uses of this sponge. They need a scrub daddy. A scrub mommy, they need a scrub daddy, a scrub mommy. But anyway, you can use the sponge to clean up messes, because if you don't clean up the messes, customers will walk over them and be slower. And also, it'll decrease any like boosts you have on the food. Okay, here I'm learning recycling. Wow, cardboard stacks. My problem in the beginning is I don't realize that you can't mix cardboard and styrofoam, so all my stacks end up being mixed and I can't actually recycle them for a while until I figure it out. I'm redoing my layout for the store now that I have more things to sell, and this is not the worst layout that I concoct either. I have a pretty bamboo and I have a pretty sunflower. I've got my boosted fish, and then I've got the other things in the back. So for now, it's gonna have to do. I will say a big part of this game is putting items that are in the same category together, and I don't realize that for a while, like too long. A little too long, okay? But for now, in the small store, it's not that big a deal. I got another point for serving some customers, and then I talked to Gina, and I said, Gina, I want to expand my store. And she said, okay, go talk to Derek, the banker. And I said, okay, geez, I guess. Here I am running out of things. I'm constantly running in the middle of my shift to restock things. You won't always see it because the videos would be 20 hours long. But just know, this girl's running. And for the first time, I am given this screen where I actually see my customer approval rating, which was 85% today, and I can see all of the items that were sold, the traditional ones that are sold here, and then the impulse are ones that were sold because of the boosters that I put. So in this case, just the fish, because I only have the fish booster. I made $1,048, which for day 5, I mean, that sounds pretty cool to me. I don't know what an average grocery store makes in a day, but this tiny little Blockbuster looking store, I don't know, I think we're doing good. So then Grace tells me about what I just saw, the customer approval rating, or CAR, and if you have a good CAR, more customers will come into the store the next day. So you're boosting your customers with a high CAR, and also by putting out the posters, which I do often. You won't always see, but I try to be on top of the posters. I'm getting some rewards points, but I'm saving them for now to buy something a little bit better soon. Then I'm restocking the stock room, which takes me a long time every day, and I won't always show it because it's kind of just, the same old. But I do learn about recycling for realsies this time on day 5. So from here on out, we recycle, and we recycle correctly. And speaking of recycling, we have a whole new recycling mechanic because Teller freaks out about a soda can on the ground. And so now I'm getting to it. On day 6, we find out more. Over at the hardware store, there is this machine that any soda cans I pick up, I could put into it and I'll get some money. Not quite as much as the stacks of cardboard and styrofoam, but hey, money is money. Then I went to talk to Derek, who's complaining about his little rascal child, and I'm like, dude, I kind of don't care. I just want to purchase the tea shop. And Derek is like, well, you gotta go get a permit. You gotta get that from Elmer. And I'm like, dude, I spoke to Elmer already. Also, I'm reminded at this point that the posters that I hung up on day 1 have now been gone, so I need to do a good job of staying on top of it. So I go to talk to Elmer, and he's like, listen here, sweetheart. I can help you out, but you gotta help me destroy some records now that you're a recycling pro. My favorite thing is if you look at the recycling records that I'm doing here, they have some fun names, like this one, the ongoing embezzlement at Blomkest Town Hall. Well, that sounds like a fun read, but nonetheless, I destroyed the evidence, the first of many shady behaviors I partake in the course of Discounty. Then I go to talk to Derek, and he's like, that'll be 3,000 shills, please, and I said, I don't have that. Then I go back to Discounty, and a bombshell is dropped on me. Teller tells me, Grace, no longer working here. I don't know if you guys ever saw Design Star in the early 2000s, but on that show, when you got eliminated, the host would say to you, your show has been cancelled.
Your show has been cancelled.
And so unfortunately, Grace, your show has been cancelled, and I am the queen of the Blockbuster grocery store. Because it's still looking like a Blockbuster at this point, and I'm really all by myself. It's even a task that I completed for getting rid of Grace. I'm all settled in. Here I am running the store all by myself. I'm running. We gotta restock the bread. We gotta check out the customers. I don't even have time to clean up the spill on the ground. Like, how can one woman do it all? That's the question we ask in the course of this video. I had one angry customer, otherwise I had all perfect customers. You're gonna wanna pay attention to the different reactions customers will have. It'll come very into play later on in this video, but hey, not a bad day. I cleaned some more dirt and I'm getting points on points on points. At this point, I have even more points. And I was like, perfect. I can get just what I want, which is extra pocket space, because I've been having some struggles managing my early inventory here in the game, because I like to buy things and I don't like to put things where they're supposed to go. So I went to hang up some posters, and that was a lot for one day. Day 7, I'm yelled at by Teller again. God, she is not a warm and fuzzy family member, okay? She's yelling at me every day. She's like, stupid girl, we don't work on Sundays, so you don't need to go work. Go meet everyone in town, of which I already have, except for the factory worker, but we can't get to the factory yet, so I figure we have a little bit of time. Then I run into this cutscene with Grace, and I feel so bad, because, like, she just got fired. We don't address it here. She's complaining about this fence that's built through the property, and talking about her neighbor, which, you guessed it, is the one NPC I haven't met yet. That right there? Well, that's Tammy. We'll get to know Tammy quite well through the course of this 100%ing video, but not quite yet. I can't go into the woods yet, so I'm just exploring. On Sundays, one of the things I like to do is check on my trade deals, but first I found this mine. Don't get your hopes up, we're not slaying monsters in that mine. I don't actually know why the mine is there, to be honest, but I was interested to find it. Then checking on the trade deals. That's always what I like to do on Sundays, to see if I sold enough of whatever item they wanted me to sell, and finding cutscenes. You can see in this game when certain objects glow, you'll unlock a cutscene. Like in this case, we're having one with Miss Anderson, and she's like talking about how she misses her youth and she won't be able to carry groceries and we should do delivery. But Miss Anderson, this is not Instacart, this is not Amazon Fresh. I wish, man. I'm chronically ill. I don't go to the grocery store either. I can't carry the groceries up many flights of stairs, so I'm with you. Then I have this cutscene with Cornelius, and we're learning more about John Key, the key ring man, and Cornelius is talking about reporting on the news. Then I went to go see Fisher, and I already had rewards points, but I forgot to redeem them. So why did I come over here? Same thing here with Barbara. I didn't actually redeem them. So don't worry about that. It's worth noting too that the trade deal vendors only restock their stuff on certain days, so you want to make sure you catch them in time, which is something I definitely struggle with. On day 8, I'm scoping out what Ted has, and I see that there's this household items booster, and it looks so cool, and I really want to buy it, but I don't really have enough household items yet, so I'm like, well, come back. I remembered to buy fish sticks from Barbara, because Mondays were the day for that. And then I opened the store. We're doing a great job, per usual. There's Gina. You know, there she is, whatever. A near perfect day, other than one customer. I had a 95% customer approval rating, which was pretty crazy, and I somehow only made $695. I thought I would do a little bit better, but it doesn't matter because I have lots of points to redeem, so we're cooking with ground beef now. So I bought some ground beef, and then I have enough money now for the thing, so I should go and do it, right? But I'm interrupted by this cutscene. Derek and Tammy are together. Oh my gosh, Derek and Tammy, and they have their son. We're learning about the lore, okay? We're learning about the lore. So I bring Derek the 3,000 shillings that I saved up for, and now we're going to expand. So the upgrade should be ready for tomorrow. So I decided, let's just go back to Disc County and let's just restock everything to make sure I'm ready for business. On day 9, Miss Anderson's not too happy about what I've done here in expanding Disc County. Very upset that I took over Dale's old tea shop, and she's like, we're losing more of ourselves. And I'm like, but the tea shop closed years ago. Nobody wanted it. Miss Anderson's like, yeah, but how does this legacy? And you're ruining it. And I'm like, okay, sorry, but I gotta go in there now, and I gotta decorate my store. I gotta go in, I gotta decorate my store. So I went in, and I started reworking the layout of the store. Now I have so much more room, and I am so excited to have just, I don't know, like, better floor layout here. And Miss Anderson is coming in and is like, poor Dale. Miss Anderson, why are you shopping here? That is my question. If you have such a problem with me and how I conduct my business, why are you shopping here? And why are you the first one in line? Why are you here? You could go buy your ground beef and your fish sticks from someone else, okay? but just kidding. I'll serve you and I'll happily take the money, all right? All right, good. So the day continues on, and I realize I've run out of fish. I fished too close to the sun here. And when you don't have things that people want, you can actually tell them, you can go up to them, and it'll say, we're sold out. And they'll be less mad. They'll still be upset, but they'll be less mad, and it's definitely good. You can see here Hilda's mad because I took too long to check her out because I forgot about math, okay? Sometimes I forget about math. I got some angry customers, but overall, it wasn't the worst that I ever do. 70%, my average is 85. That's pretty good. Here I am cleaning the dirty floors. I don't want to blame Miss Anderson, but I think that she's like crop dusting as she walks because, but then it's turning into like, it's not just farts, it's turning into like dirt on the ground because it's always her making the messes. I don't want to blame her, but I'm going to. Anyway, now we're selling lettuce and we're selling shampoo, and most importantly, we're selling chocolate bars. So I buy all the things that I need to buy for my newly improved supermarket, and I'm getting all the new items. We got new space, we got new stock, I'm recycling, and I'm really starting to get into the swing of things. That said, we still only have 3 out of 17 achievements, but at this time, we're still learning. So I decided that now, as I'm unlocking more items, it was time for a produce booster, because now I have the apples and the lettuce. So I'm like, okay, good, we have things. So trying to redo the store to utilize the boosters. That's always what I do. Could I tell you why the produce booster section looks like this, and then the fish section is flipped? I don't know why I didn't make them the same, but it is what it is. Teller's like, yeah, okay, people are mad at us because we took over the tea shop, but it's fine. People will probably get over it. So just lay low and then go check out the hardware store because Ted will have some new stuff. And I even got the everything's on sale proudly achievement for completing chapter 1. And I did it in just 9 days. Look at us, 9 days in, completed chapter 1, and day 10, we are discounting our cultural heritage? Cornelius, discounting our cultural heritage? I thought we were buddies. I listened to you talk about your relative, you know, and his key ring, and I thought you were a nice, cool reporter. Here we are starting chapter 2, a real supermarket. One of the staircases down to the harbor is blocked off, so I have to go ask Elmer what the heck is up. But don't worry, there's another way into the harbor, so I make it down there to buy just one crate of fish, because Fisher restocks on Wednesdays, and this is all I could afford, and the people like the fish. Okay, I talked to Elmer about the staircase, and he's like, we'll take a look at it. Check back tomorrow and see if it's fixed. I went to go print some posters, and I saw some new items in the hardware store. There are appealing coolers and appealing shelves now, which will make things look more appealing. I ignore them, and I just get the cheap one for now, but if you know what? If you're watching, I'd recommend maybe getting the appealing ones. Don't be like me. Save up for them. So then I'm looking for Cornelius, and he's not over here. And the forest is still closed. Like, what are they investigating? What is so disgusting in this forest at this manufacturing factory that it's been closed for 10 days? I mean, it could have been closed before I even got here. Here I am confronting Cornelius. I thought we were buddies, Cornelius. And he's like, okay, and? So I have to go tell Teller that we aren't friends anymore. And then rats. Keep those in mind. Don't forget about those rats. Those rats are important, okay? So then we talked to Teller, and we're like, what is going on? And Teller's like, we need to make another grocery store. We need 25. And I'm like, what, 25,000? And she's like, no, 25 million. We need a loan of 25 million. So I go to Derek, and I'm like, hey, I need to have a loan of $25 million. And he's like, you need to prove you're a real supermarket. So here's what you gotta do. You gotta upgrade trade deals with all of the vendors to tier 2. So that's Carl the farmer, that's Fisher, the fisher, and that's Barbara, the fishy sticks girl. We also need to have our car be above 50% for 4 days in a row and hang 5 posters around town to get lots of customers in. And I need to put down a down payment of 8,000 shills. So now we have quite a bit to work on to get to the next main big point of the story. So I'm gonna try to work on all of those things at once. The main way to upgrade the trade deals is to sell more of their products. So unfortunately, I don't have any fishy sticks right now, but when I get them, we'll get them. It's a rule that chocolate bars should go near the register. So I put my chocolate bars near the register and I put out my other new items to see if maybe people were interested. And the cool thing about this game is as you get more items to sell, the grocery lists of the customers get longer and therefore they buy more things, you make more money, you know the drill. I'm struggling with numbers slightly, but I start to learn that discounty checkout is a memorization game and not a math game, okay? So as long as you remember the numbers, you can be pretty quick about it. I'm cleaning up spills. These people are all stuck in the corner, and I thought this was a glitch. However, I think my problem here is that the store is not laid out with all of the items in the same category together. For the most part they are, but things like the fries are a packaged processed item and they're in the processed category, but I continue to put them with the other frozen stuff, which is the animal products, where they should be closer to the oats and things like that, which I also don't realize are a processed item because I'm not paying attention to the categories. So we got processed items, we got household goods all mixed together, and the customers are confused. Got a 57% rating today. That's not going to do the job of proving I'm a real supermarket. But alas, now that I've unlocked all of the different things from chapter 1, we have more things now to unlock. There's coffee. There's coffee, people. Now we're really selling the good stuff. Guy shows up and we have some business to talk about. I need to get to the factory, so I asked him, can you please drive me to the factory? And he says, no, but you can sneak in the back of the van, so come to me after work and we can do that. So after I finish putting out my new items, I decide, well, let's do just that. I need to meet Tammy, the last of the trade deal people, because I need to get everyone to tier 2. I'm not even at tier 1 with her. Miss Anderson does catch us, but maybe she's not realizing what's happening. I mean, she does have a raccoon that she thinks is a cat. So, and that's okay, and we love that for her, but I don't know if she cares about this whole secret business that's going on. So Elmer is talking to Tammy, and we don't really know what they're talking about, but it seems shady. I waltz in all proud and bold, and I'm like, hey, I'm Pay, the new shopkeeper at Discounty, and I'm here to change your life. And so she's like, okay, yeah, right, girl. I'm going to come to your grocery store, and I'm quite frankly going to see if it's a piece of trash and worthy of my items. So now we have to worry about impressing her, which is no easy task. And then the suspicious characters keep on coming out because we have a shadowy figure who says, I know what you're up to. And I'm like, girl, I'm just stalking my apples. What do you mean? I think you should consider your next moves carefully. And pretty much just telling me that I'm destroying the town. People aren't happy, blah, blah, blah. I gotta go to bed. I don't have time to deal with that. Day 11, and Elmer did not fix the staircase. But you know what? At least Ted has an animal booster that is a cow. I don't have money for it yet, but one day I will. This is the first time I realized I could spend the skill perks for the trade deals. So the first ones I get are usually ones that make the items they're selling less expensive or increase the crate capacity, but there's also ones that give you special posters and cool things like that. So I'm checking in on everybody, seeing if there's any fish available for me to buy. I don't have much money, unfortunately, but at least I'm spending my skill points so that things will be cheaper the next time I buy fish. And then rats! Again, but this time they're coming with a quest to inquire about what's going on with the rats in town. Now, this is where we're getting into tips and tricks mode. Pay attention to those rats sooner. I don't. Carl is telling me that all his sheep are born to die and that they exist to slaughter them. And I'm like, okay. And he also told me about some strange mythological creature that's terrorizing his farm. Cool, great. And then I have this cutscene with Elmer, and he's like, oh, I have no heating because there's a stork on my chimney, and I can't get rid of them. It's illegal. And then I have a cutscene with Cornelius, and I'm talking to him about his old relative's house that is not a museum or anything, and like, why don't we do something with it? And he's like, we don't have the government funding. Then I have a cutscene with Solruna. People don't want to buy crystals from her. They only want to buy furniture. But she just wants to sell crystals, and it's a whole mess. She had this other store, it closed down, now she's selling from her house, a whole thing. Tammy comes into the store for the first time, and of course, she wants the fish that I don't have. And so this is when I start to get clued in about the customers' reactions. As you can see, Tammy has an exclamation point, so she's already angry at me because I'm taking too long or because I didn't have what she wanted, she couldn't find things easy, and I mean, she's mad. So I got a mad reaction from her. All of the rest of them are either neutral reactions or perfect reactions. So I learned very quickly that we need to have good reactions to make things happen. And today, I just didn't cut it. So I work on restocking everything that I can, and then Tammy screams at me. And she's like, this store is absolute trash, but don't worry, we'll try again. Then I talked to Elmer about the rats, and he's like, you should ask the locals about the rats. And I said, okay. And I remind him, hey, can you fix the staircase? And he's like, sure thing. Day 12, it's not fixed. And he's like, right, I can't fix the staircase because it's not just the staircase, all of the land is messed up too. And he's like, you gotta go talk to someone else. And then he tells me I can upgrade the printer. It's only 500 shills. I don't do it yet, but eventually we'll upgrade the printer. I bought some fish. And then I bought the household booster because the boosters are the most important thing to me. Then, cutscene with Solruna. We're getting more exposition. We're learning about her old store, Cursed But Curious. And she said people sent demons to her store. And she's telling us more about how she wants to sell gemstones, but people really just want her furniture, and that's why she's selling out of her house now. It's sad. I would have bought her gemstones, okay? I would have. Here I am trying to make the household booster look good. This is what I come up with. I don't know if this is the best layout, but I'm trying my best. Teller's mad at me today. Tammy's mad at me again. I didn't have the fish she wanted, and I took too long. And then we got Gina, which we'll get to later. Didn't do so hot again, but I am keeping the car above 50%, which is my main goal anyway. The store is disgusting. Yep, that's that. But at least I'm getting some rewards points still. And there are so many items that I can unlock now. I'm like, ooh, which one do I want? I agonize, but I decide let's get the bananas because I have the produce booster already. And I'm able to talk to Guy about the staircase. And he says, talk to Gina. So we'll talk to Gina, I guess, and yeah, Tammy's mad again. She didn't enjoy her time, whatever. Then I notice this glowing little cutscene here with Chester being screamed at by his dad because he goes over to this other town to hang out with these, bad kids. And I'm like, choose your friends carefully. I'm very ominous. And he's like, yeah, whatever, old woman. Whatever you say, girl. Day 13, I'm asking Ted about the rats. And I ignore what he says. He's like, someone should leave out scraps of their favorite food and maybe they'll stay out of the way. And I read that. And nothing computes in my brain for a while, guys. Just nothing. I'm like, whatever. We'll come back to that. Then Carl is crying. His favorite sheep, Fluffles, has been kidnapped. So I gotta go find Fluffles, but there's no time. I gotta go open the grocery store, and I need Tammy to love me today. Now, Tammy's the problem, because Tammy stands at the checkout and then waits for other people to go in front of her, and then she's mad because I take too long. In this case, she wasn't mad, though. She was just neutral. And I learned that a neutral reaction is not good enough. I need a perfect reaction to sell the deal here. Then I'm getting energy drinks because frankly, I need the energy to deal with this woman. I am putting up posters. I'm trying to get more customers in the store and also to do this goal, which I've just done, which is to keep my car above 50 and to hang the 5 posters, which I've now done. I'm redeeming some skill points over at the farm. Now we can buy even more oats that people really aren't even selling. So I tell Derek, okay, cool, I did part of the goal. And he said, that's great, but you got other things to do. Then I bought some flowers. Then I bought some deep shelves, which I don't even realize I do. For a while, you can stock more things in the deep shelves. I don't realize, and I still am only putting 5 of each energy drink in the spot. That's really smart. I also bought some purple flooring, but I thought they looked ugly with the walls, so I'm like, we'll hang on to it for now. Then I had some cutscenes with Hilda, because frankly, I'm not really going to this bar that much. And gossiping is happening. She's talking about living with her ex, aka Carl the Farmer, and she's like, I don't really want to talk about my drama, I want to talk about everyone else's drama. Then I realized I can customize my house, and I put the purple carpet there, and I think it just looks much better in my house. Day 15, I'm running back to the hardware store, and then I'm checking in on Barbara to get some more fishy sticks because I can finally buy them. And I bought a processed food booster. I don't know why it doesn't compute in my brain that the oats are processed food. Otherwise, I would have prioritized putting them by the booster. I didn't. Instead, I do this weird layout. What am I doing? And then I'm talking to Gina, and I'm like, Gina, I need you to fix this staircase. And she's like, okay, go talk to Elmer. And then everyone's pissed. Everyone's mad. So I don't have the gray fish. I'm taking too long. I'm talking to Gina about fixing staircases when I should be at the register. Again, Tammy's letting people go in front of her. And I don't even get to check out Tammy. She puts her items back, which I don't realize for a while that people can put their items back and then you can go and retrieve them. 39%. That's bad. Guys, that's bad. Maybe it's because the store is laid out terribly and because I don't know numbers well enough. I'm talking to Elmer and he's like, I don't know about this staircase. We'll figure it out, okay? We'll figure it out. Day 16, Elmer did pay for the staircase. He's like, okay, it really did need fixing. Had to come out of, other budgets, but whatever. So Runa has a milk decoration, like a milk jug thing. I thought it was cute. As if the store is not already a fire hazard. I'm like, let's block the aisle and put a little milk jug. What a great thing for me to do. 43%. I continue to suck at discounting. And guess what? Yeah, Tammy's still mad. Tammy's like, girl, this is not right. So I'm like, maybe it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. This is when I'm realizing the different categories for the items. And I'm like, let's put things more with their correct thing. So the freezer things don't always have to be together unless it's the animal products. They all have to be together. The fries don't have to be with them. It's a whole thing. Okay, I'm redeeming some skill points and I'm buying some of the fish. The people want the bony fish. And then look, there's a pride wall. I thought this was so beautiful. So I hung up the pride wall. You know what? Maybe the rainbow will give people some more joy when they come into the store. Maybe they'll like it more. If not, I have joy. I decided to hide my sponge, my Scrub Daddy wannabe, in the back because it continues to be a fire hazard. And okay, I laid out the store a little bit better here. It's still not the best it'll ever look. You're gonna have to hang tight for that. And then I'm getting better at memorizing things here. Like, look at me, I'm not even flipping the pages that much. Like, I think that's pretty impressive. Okay, I flipped the page there. Just ignore that. Don't look at it. And Tammy's waiting in line, and again, she lets everybody go ahead of her, but today, I got it right. Today, I finally made her have a loved reaction. It went well. I had mostly loved reactions. My approval rating was 85%. I made some money. So I spent some time restocking the store. It's getting a little bit messy, but I decide, okay, let's utilize that other room. Let's put the frozen refrigerated stuff over there, the other stuff over there. Okay, Tammy's like, great. You should tear down this building. She's like, you know what you should do? You should tear down that building. Think about it. Day 18, the papers. The forest is open. And I'm like, Tammy, sweetie baby, I gotta sell something. And she said, here, sell my toothpaste. So now we are also toothpaste sellers. And now at least we have a tier 1 trade deal with her. I discovered Fluffles in the forest in this weird area, and I'm like, Carl, I found Fluffles, and I'm like, why do you even care about Fluffles? You're just gonna kill all your sheep. And he was like, no, Fluffles is different. And I said, okay, whatever you say, man. And then the store is looking better a little bit. Mostly loved reactions. Okay, 89%, average 72, $1,000. I decided to talk to Hilda about Carl slaughtering his sheep, and she's like, there might be something we could do about it. And then I find another spot with rats, and once again, I ignore the rats. Barbara's like, maybe we should play something that would make the rats feel at home. And I'm like what? That makes no sense. I don't even understand. So then I go to talk to Carl about his sheep, and he's like, I need you to mark the sheep that are gonna be killed, but don't do it to Fluffles. But Hilda told me, mark all the sheep, including Fluffles, to make a point so that Carl can realize all the sheep are sheep. And he's like, you know what, you're right. Let's not slaughter the sheep. Let's make some cheese instead. So now I have tier 2 trade deal, and we're selling cheese, baby. And look at the milk jug, just puts it all together. I also got a drink booster, which is causing another fire hazard with the walking patterns. It won't stay like that. I was in a bind. That was the best I could do. But I did pretty good with the store. I made $1,300 that day. It's looking good. Here I am fixing things a little bit. Not the optimal way. Like, I don't know what this like spaceship kind of thing I'm going for as far as the shape of the aisles here at this point, but we're being creative, okay? Day 20, the water is contaminated. So things are going well. And I'm like, tell her, you can't let the birds drink the contaminated water. And she's like, whatever. Also, I got an achievement, rags to riches. I made 1,000 shillings by recycling because I'm good at things. So now we're at 5 out of 17 achievements. This is when I realized that people put things back when I don't check them out in time or they get angry. And so check this, because you might have lots of things that you think you need to buy more of and you don't. Here I am, a whiz at the cash register. You know, I was a lead cashier in my time. Not at a grocery store, at a makeup store, but still, lead cashier. And that's reflecting here in discounting. I mean, look at all those perfect scores. Oh my goodness, making $1,138, getting all the points and the trade deal points as well. Definitely upgrading things as soon as I can. And speaking of, it was time to talk to Barbara about upgrading to tier 2 of the trade things. And so she's like, okay, I want to get fishy shaped fish sticks up in here, but we have to see if there's a market for it. So I said, okay. Day 21, I finally bought the cow. That's important. And I talked to Fisher about upgrading our trade deal, and he's like, come back tomorrow. So I talked to Barbara once again about our trade deal, and she's like, we need to survey the people to see if they want fish-shaped fish sticks. Oh boy, that's a mouthful. And all of the people were like, well, I don't have any kids, but like, I guess fish-shaped fish sticks are cool. Even Derek, who does have a kid, he's like, my kid is like too old for that. And so Barbara's like, I'm going to talk to my dad and we'll come back to you. Then I made sure to stock up on toothpaste because on Sundays, Tammy sells toothpaste. Also, Solruna keeps selling a dollhouse. And I thought that was really weird. I'm like, what am I possibly going to use a dollhouse for? That's so strange. So then I went and I decided to redo the store once again. Now that I had the animal product booster, the oats are not an animal product, so I just ignore them being in the wrong spot for now. I don't want to talk about it, okay? Day 22, and I decided to buy another one of the processed food boosters, and then I went to go see Fisher, and he was nowhere to be found. But at least we've got fishy fishes now. So we have fish sticks and we have fishy fish sticks. Okay, are you keeping track? So now everyone's worried about Fisher and they're like, go back to his place and knock 3 times. So I go in and frankly, my dude's just trying to watch his show. He's like, dude, you're interrupting me and I already missed half my show. Everyone in the comments, what show is Fisher watching? I think that Fisher is enjoying some soap opera. And apparently, we're having a whole intervention for him. He's only been eating junk food and his ship is really dirty. So my new goal is to clean his boat for the next couple days. See if that cheers him up, okay? I didn't have time to figure out where to put the other processed food bumper for now. So we just opened the store and carried on. The shapes that the aisles are in are still fire hazards. And sometimes they're like spaceshipy, sometimes they're like abstract art. I don't really know what to describe how I'm stocking these shelves, but I'm making money at least, so that's good. Here I am finally getting a clue about, okay, the oven fries are processed foods. The oats, they're processed foods. Put them over there, and then I'll just have bonus oats in the back, okay? Day 23, I'm cleaning Fisher's ship once again, and my god, how does it get so dirty? I'm talking to Solruna, and I am continuing to buy things from her. Today was my first time buying a crystal from her. I bought this really pretty blue crystal, and so I put it in a random corner, because that's where it belongs. I did terrible today. I ran out of stuff, I was taking a long time, 63%, not a good showing, but at least I still made some money, and I'm still getting some points for doing all the things, which is great because it was finally time to unlock the scanner. I've been saving up to unlock this scanner, which all I knew about it was supposed to speed up my checkout process. No idea how that was gonna be. And here it is. So we have a brand new checkout system. If you were sick of the numbers, they're gone. So how it works is each of the different categories, the barcode is placed in a different spot. So you have this handy dandy little book that tells you, okay, for the produce, it's on the left side. For the seafood, it's at the bottom. And you need to turn the item to the right side to actually scan it. Now, I don't know if it was me, my controller, but I definitely had trouble turning everything to the right direction. It wasn't as simple as right stick, go to the right to be on the right sometimes for me, but this could be completely user error, and I do get it along the way. I will say I ignore this book a lot because you can see it glows like yellowy gold, the correct side. So like for the cans specifically, okay, we know that the cans have to be upside down. And similarly to the numbers, it's kind of a memorization game. Like you start to memorize what side each item needs to be scanned on without looking. And I think that's kind of the whole thing they're getting at here is you won't have to rely on the book always. You'll just kind of know it. Okay, day 25, Fisher's back, and he's so happy that I, helped him out. That now he has periwinkle salmon. And I was like, are you sure you should be, like, catching, like, all this fish? Like, are you maybe catching too much fish? And he's like, no, I'm not. I said, okay. I had some points to redeem for Tammy, and I'm talking to her about upgrading our trade deal as well, because now I have an upgraded trade deal with everybody but her. And she's like, I think Barbara is spying on me. So go to the forest at 19. Don't be late. And I need you to see if Tammy is, or if you need to see if Barbara is spying on Tammy, okay? But first, another day in the supermarket. I'm still getting used to the scanner. Is it making the process easier for me? Not yet, but it will. It will eventually. I'm still making money, so that's good. And I remember, to do what I'm told. I go into the forest at 19. There's Barbara, and it's like, okay, follow her without getting caught. Immediately runs. What is wrong with me? Immediately I ran. So we'd have to try again on day 26. But immediately, the water's green. And it's stinky. And Fisher's like, don't worry about it. I caught a bunch of fish today. You want to buy some? Like, don't worry about it. Okay, and then I'm upgrading my skill points with Barbara because I'm doing a good job of selling both the fish sticks and the fishy fish sticks. And I unlocked a poster that boosts the sale of Barbara's products, which are the fish sticks and the fishy fish sticks. And then I have some points for Carl. I'm buying some more oats. I'm buying some more cheese. I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm like in the swing of things for realsies this time, other than the layout of my store, which now makes sense as far as like where items are supposed to be, but it's messy, isn't it? Gina's mad at me. Typical day. Gina strolls in, is the last customer of the day always, and then is mad when she gives me the whole store on the conveyor belt and I don't have time to check it out. But whatever, it's fine. I'm restocking the store, and then I completely forgot to go back into the woods to try to catch Barbara. I was only like 30 minutes late, and it was considered too late, so we'd have to try again. On day 27, we're having a nice day at the store for the most part. Even Tammy was enjoying the products at discounty. The service made $1,000, so we're doing well. This time, I was not going to be late for Barbara, and I actually sped up this footage to 800% because I followed this woman meticulously for a long time. And I want you to know, I don't think I breathed. I didn't take a breath. I was sitting here so nervous because this went on for so long, and so many times she stopped, so many times like she looked back, and I was so scared I was going to get caught. So again, enjoy this process. Even Tammy walked by. Like, Tammy couldn't have done this herself. And then I got so scared because when I got right here, she turned around and I thought that I'd lost, but no, this was just the completion of the goal. She's like, why are you following me? And I'm like, well, Tammy said. And then she's like, I almost got caught. Barbara was like, I'm not spying on Tammy, and then walks away under her breath. I almost got caught. Excuse me? So I told, Tammy, well, she's not spying on you. And Tammy's like, okay, fine. You could sell plastic straws. So now I've upgraded my trade deal with everybody to tier 2, so I completed the operating as a real supermarket. All that's left is to make 8,000 shilling to do the down payment for the expansion. So after another day in the store, we're now on day 29, and, we're making it happen. We're selling things. I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping things stocked. Sometimes I'm walking a little bit slow to restock things. If only I had an employee. But it's okay. I have $8,000, so I paid for this. And oh my gosh, Derek's like, I think you need to have at least one sales associate. And I had just the person in mind, but I didn't have to figure it out on my own because Derek was like, okay, if I wasn't clear, I need you to hire my little rascal of a son. He's literally like vandalizing nature at this point. And I'm like, why don't you come and work for Discounty? And he's like, maybe, we'll see. Day 30. This little guy has a lemonade stand in front of my store, and Teller's like, you need to shut it down at any cost. And immediately I get the task to poison the lemonade. I don't know what went in it, but I'm like, oh my god, Miss Anderson's gonna drink that and die. And she's like, I don't consume anything made by a child. Very smart. Elmer, on the other hand, calls Chester a demon child, but Mama Tammy is here to the rescue, and she's like, Chester, I told you, you need to work at Discounty. And I even got the secret ingredient achievement, which brings our achievement total to 6 out of 17. You just had to click on it. I didn't have to completely think about what poisonous substance to put inside the lemonade, luckily. But I continued on with my day in the store. I had some more points, so I unlocked a better Discounty ad that would give 10% extra customers. And then I remembered that the rats exist. And I'm like, wait, food? The rats want something to eat. I have cheese now. So what if I put cheese on this plate? Maybe the rats will like it. And suddenly this whole rat quest starts to become clear, because I'm like, oh, the rats, they opened the sewer gate. And I'm like, oh, I haven't even noticed these sewer grates. And yes, folks, this is our fast travel system throughout Discounty. So the more rats that you help, the more sewers that you unlock, and the fast travel continues. So right now I can travel to Discounty, which is right there, and the hardware store. So I decided to talk to Barbara again to see what her rats wanted. And I remembered her saying they wanted a home. And in the back of my brain, I remembered something that might help, but I didn't have it just yet. On day 31, Chester starts working at Discounty, and his job is so helpful. He restocks your shelves for you. That's all he does. He's 16, so he can't work at the register, but he's a big help. Ah, yes, the dollhouse makes sense. So I decide to give the rats at the harbor the dollhouse. They're looking for a little place to stay. Little dollhouse for little rodent babies, and I connected another sewer, so now I can fast travel. So I tell Derek, I hired your son. Can we upgrade? Can we have the loan? Can I open my other store? So I tell Teller this, and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe we got the loan. This is amazing. She's like, hang tight. We'll deal with this tomorrow. Just go open the store. And I will say having Chester here is such a big help. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to have to not run around as much, and I made quite a bit of money. On day 32, Teller is like, hey, you know that double key ring boy? Yeah, he's a liar, he's a fraud. What if we... Hear me out. She's like, I know we're going to build a new Discounty, but what if we also take over this building and expand this one? And I got an achievement for the Where Are We Going? Finish Chapter 2. And because of that, we're at 7 out of 17, which is so great. And my supermarket is expanded. And I'm making it a tradition at this point. Every time the supermarket gets bigger, I decide to change my wallpaper. So as much as I enjoyed the Pride wall, I thought let's shake it up with the white flowers wall, which I thought was really pretty. It doesn't go with the blue flooring, but we'll change that soon. As you can see, I now have refrigerators, freezers, cooling systems, coolers. You can't move them, okay? So I don't utilize them properly for a while, but just hang tight. One day, I'll utilize them. Oh, all right? Okay. So I'm here just completely redoing the store, trying to utilize all of the different, boosters that I have. And because I'm trying to decorate the store while serving customers, I don't do so hot. 50%. Not a good start, but I bought a lot of coolers and shelves and some more boosters. I wanted to try to have 2 of each category's booster, and this time I want to make the store kind of symmetrical. So as you can see, I'm kind of trying to do this like 2 boosters in the middle, all the rest in the category around them. And then I had enough points to unlock some eggs, which was nice. I forgot to buy them, but eggs will exist soon. Day 33, and I'm erasing Blomcast. Discounty is demolishing the cultural building. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just continue on my day and buy things like this new flooring. I have, the boosters that I'm still building. I'm still trying to figure out the layout of the store. I found no good way to not block traffic of the fridges. I really wish you could move the fridges because I think I would have put them on the other side. But regardless, here's my new pretty tile floor. I really like how this looks. I moved all my plants for now as I'm trying to prioritize putting the boosters where I want them to go, but I bought that really cute bookshelf, and I think this is the best, well, almost. This is the best the store has looked so far, at least, but I think it'll get slightly better as we go out. Not too bad of a day, 61%, 1,300 and change, 1,400 and change rather. And at this point, I've almost unlocked everything except for the spaghetti. So of course I needed to get the spaghetti, and I had just gotten the eggs last time. So now I'm working on restocking everything. I decided to put the animal products over on the left-hand side instead by the fridges, and I just came to terms with blocking some of the fridges. That was dumb. Just use the fridges. And then, oh my god, they're protesting. Look, Miss Anderson is literally like on a pedestal screaming. Everyone is angry except for Tammy. Tammy is like, John Key didn't even invent the double loop key ring. And I can't even believe it. And so then I got an achievement for inciting a riot. Which is crazy. And I'm like, tell her, what do? We gotta change plans. And day 34, the protesters are still there. I have to like walk over the line. I felt so bad. Chester isn't even here. Chester didn't even show up to work. Like, he didn't want to be in the drama either. And because of that, the store's a mess. I mean, do you see all the boxes back there? I really got so used to having someone stock the shelves for me. I didn't do too bad, but we only had 4 customers, so I only made $680. So the protest is definitely hindering my business for sure. But we'll carry on nonetheless, and I'm trying to clean up my stock room. I decide, let me put things in the fridges, but because I'm blocking them, honestly, people don't go to them. Eventually, I'll decide to use the fridges instead of so many coolers, but I didn't really know what to do with all my excess coolers, so I was just trying to find a way to make it work. I'm also still recycling all the time. You don't always see it, but it's happening. I'm a good person, I think. Day 35, Teller's like, you know what if we open on a Sunday? And I said, absolutely not. Instead, I'm gonna go buy this coffee machine. This is the only item that I've seen that has a buff for the customers other than the boosters. This one, it makes the customers go faster when they're around it, which is pretty cool. I don't really know what the most strategic placement is for it. I definitely move it around a lot, but it's cool nonetheless, and it also looks cute, so I'm pretty happy with it. Now I'm putting my plants back in, and I settled on this as the layout of the store, and I think it looks so much better than it has throughout most of the video. And I decided to put the little crystal in my house because I didn't really think it fit the vibe. Sorry, Solruna. Maybe that's why she hates me too now. I remembered to actually stock my eggs. I bought them days ago and then just didn't stock them. So that's good. You know, that's important. I'm still buying stuff from Guy all the time, and I'm trying to get a little bit more organized with the stock room because it got out of hand. So I'm like, okay, things that are on the left-hand side of the store, let's put in the left-hand side of the stock room, like right in front of it. Logically, that makes sense. Things that are in the middle of the store, let's keep in the middle. And things that are on the right-hand side, let's put on the right-hand side. You would have thought I would be doing that the whole time, but no, I have not been. So here I am, restocking the shelves all by myself because Chester is protesting, and he has every right to do that. We're not mad at him. That's fair. The customers are trickling in, and suddenly Miss Anderson walks in, and I fully confront her. I'm like, hi. And she's like, oh, I just needed some milk, honey, nothing else. And I'm like, do you not remember you're holding a protest outside? And she's like, okay, you know what? Let's chat. After work, we could talk about it. And I said, okay, because I only had 5 customers today, so we definitely need to talk about it. So she's like, we have some demands. You cannot demolish John Key's house, even if he was a fraud, okay? We're not yielding. So now I have to ask her about her demands, which, let me tell you something, are long and extensive. So there's problems all over Discounty that you've heard about so far. So there's problems with the water and the fish. There's problems with the fog. And also, I need to donate 15,000 shilling. So that's good. Chapter 3 is starting. Resolution. We are trying to make things right with the citizens of Blomkest. I'm continuing to work on my trade deals and redeem my points, purchasing the fish and all of that stuff when it's appropriate. And then in the meantime, I also talked to Fisher about why the sea is green. And he's like, okay, we'll figure it out. You should go talk to other people. And I'm like, okay. Good. No good. That's great. Chester came back. Thank God. I'm so excited that he's here. And also, I had some points to redeem for Barbara. And so then I decided to talk to Barbara about the sea. And she's like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. Couldn't be me. But apparently there's nightly commotion. So I asked Chester about it because he's kind of out at night. And he's like, I don't know. I heard something. I think you should just ask someone across the street. And the only person I knew across the street was Ted. But first, I found more rats, and Teller was like, these ones like to eat toxic waste. And I was like, I have nothing for toxic waste. We're gonna have to put a pin in that. So then I talked to Ted about the harbor and why is it green? And he's like, I don't know, you should just hang out around there. So I have to hang out around here until after 23:30 to see what's going on. So I came down to the harbor, and nothing happens. I'm about to leave when suddenly the green comes out of this giant pipe. And I'm like, dude, whose pipe is this? And what is that stuff? And that's when the shadowy figure reemerges and is like, That pipe belongs to Poseidon's gallery, aka Barbara. But don't forget, the real problem is the person in the woods. And I'm like, okay, Jesus. Day 37 and the protesters win, but not quite yet because I'm still figuring things out. But at least the protesters are gone from the front of my store, so maybe people will come back and shop. Okay, so I confront Barbara about her pipe, and she's like, listen, it's a perfectly legal pipe. We're just putting our waste from the fishy sticks in it. Don't tell anybody. We'll stop doing it, okay? And in return for not telling anyone, you can sell pickles. And I'm like, fish pickles? And she's like, no, just pickles. But she's like, you need to get rid of the toxic waste. You need to go recycle it. And I'm like, okay, hold on. So I knew that I was supposed to go recycle it with Ted, but I had some rats that liked toxic waste. So I decided to give them the toxic fishy stick stuff. And of course, that unlocked another of the fast travel for the rats. And you can see there's 2 more spaces, so there are 2 more rats that need to be helped. I throw out the rest of the toxic waste and I go back to Miss Anderson to get on to the next part of this, which is to figure out what's going on with the fish. What is happening with the lack of fish that is suddenly happening in Blomkest. I go back to Discounty and I have a whole new set of items that I can redeem with my skill perks now, which is exciting. And this is actually the last set of stuff, so I'm almost having all of the items in the game at this point. I come into this cutscene between Elmer and Fisher, and Fisher gets his fishing license revoked because he's met his quota. And I'm like, what do we do about this? So I talked to Elmer, and Elmer's like, you should talk to Barbara. But instead I talked to Fisher, and he's like, don't talk to Barbara, don't get her involved. It's fine, I'm gonna retire, maybe I'll buy the fish auction house. Instead I do talk to Barbara. And she's like, okay, I can help you with his license, but you need to sell more fishy sticks than bony herring in one day. Like, she made it a challenge. For some reason, they have a monopoly. They, like, control Fisher, pretty much. Poseidon's Gallery controls Fisher, and they're the ones in charge of his license. So she's like, sell my fish sticks, and then maybe we'll talk. For the first time, I see the Magnificent shelf, which is like the super fancy, amazing shelf. I don't buy it. Instead, I go and print posters because I'm trying to get more customers in, so they'll hopefully buy the fish sticks. We gotta sell the fishy fishes more than the bony herring. So my logic here is, let's just not stock a lot of the bony herring. Surely that's all we have to do. I end up selling more fishy sticks than bony herring in just one go, and I made a lot of money, which is great. Then I talked to Chester, and he's like, hey, doesn't Miss Anderson come in every single day? And I'm like, yeah, she comes in first. She didn't come in today. Instantly, I think this woman is dead. Maybe she got a hold of the toxic lemonade. Who knows? We can't deal with that yet, though. We gotta go talk to Barbara. I'm like, ha ha ha, I did it. So I told Fisher, I'm like, we're figuring out your fishing license. It's been restored. Fisher's not interested, but then we tell him that he can fish like these exclusive scallops, and he's so excited, he's ready to fish again, and that actually unlocks tier 3 of our trade deal, and now he'll sell seaweed to me. So we have our full trade deal unlocked with Fisher now, which is so great, and we figured out the fish situation. But there are still lots of other environmental causes that we need to investigate as per Miss Anderson's demands. But first of all, what happened to Miss Anderson? So I go to her place, I say hi to her raccoon, and she's like, it's dirty outside, and my cat won't walk over the dirt, so can you fix it? And I said, I guess. So same kind of deal as cleaning Fisher's boat earlier. I am cleaning up the sidewalk for Miss Anderson. And she's like, good, and she actually gives me some money. Not that much, but like a little bit. So I'll take it. And then I have to talk to Elmer about the contaminated water. And then he's like, you gotta go talk to Tammy. And Tammy's like, girl, I didn't do anything about the contaminated water, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. Wasn't me. But to distract you, what if we upgrade our trade deal and you sell bottled water? Since people can't drink the water, what if you sell bottled water? And I just want to make it clear, there are 2 bodies of water that have been harmed here. It might be confusing. I was a little confused. So the harbor was because of the fish waste, but then the other bodies of water are also toxic, like they're undrinkable. And now we're trying to solve that problem. And we're also selling people water bottles now, which is good for me because now I can at least stock another type of drink. I've only had energy drinks and soda the whole time. So day 39, I have to go find a water source to see what the contaminants are. So I'm searching all through back here, and I noticed that the fog has made its way to the farm, which is really weird, and it's pink, and now the water is pink. So there's green water in one place, there's pink water in another place, and we need to get to the bottom of why. And who's the culprit? Carl. For some reason, in his silo, there is a pink thing happening here. And Carl's like, my potatoes have been cursed by the mystical creature in the woods. Solruna gave me pink fertilizer to help it. And so now I have to talk to Solruna, and we have to make this mystical creature their favorite oatmeal. Things are going off the rails. We have to make a mystical creature their favorite oatmeal to satisfy them. But to do that, I have to enchant an apple. So I have to bring Solruna an apple. I'm like, here you go. She's gonna infuse my apple. And then I have to get some of this nasty pink things, go back to Solruna, and then I have to join her for her ritual in the woods after 20. But I'm gonna be honest, I do forget about this. But we'll do it. Just not today, because I forgot about it. And so the day carries on, and I have some reward points, and look at all those cool new items. Now I got carrots. I buy some more deep shelves. I think this is when I start to realize that the deep shelves you can actually stock with more items, so yay me. Day 40, and oh my gosh, isn't it beautiful to see all of the extended trade deals? Like, I really, at this point, this is like my first inkling that I've almost completed the game, because I didn't know how long the game was. But seeing like the 3 tiers of trade deals unlocked, I'm like, wait a second, am I coming to the end of this? We just might be. So here I am. I've gotten really good at the scanner by now. It took a while, but I feel like I just needed to get the controller and my hands and my brain on the same side here. So I do like it, but I do wish there was a way to unequip it, because I kind of missed the numbers. I know, that might be weird. I think I just grew accustomed to the numbers and I liked them. I got some more points, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to get next. I decided I would do pads and frozen vegetables. Do a little bit of all the sections, you know? Do a little bit of all the sections. And then I actually got more points, so then I got butter. Which, you need some butter. I'm still blocking literally all the fridges are blocked, but it's fine. Day 40, just a day late, I remember to go to the ritual. Solrune is like, this place is none of your business. Don't ask questions. Okay, so she enchants this apple, and now I have to get this specific fish from Fisher, and he's like, I can't because of the monopoly. And I'm like, didn't we dissolve the monopoly? And Barbara's like, yeah, except for this particular fish we use for our fishy sticks. So you have a new challenge where you have to sell 10 of the fish sticks in 1 day, and then she'll give me what I need. And I'm like, that's gonna be a breeze. Look, I'm boosting the fish sticks. Like, people buy this fish for sure from me all the time. Like, this shouldn't be, I shouldn't have to put an effort for this goal. But boy, was I wrong. Because in this day, I sold 1 fish stick. I sold 1. So I just put out more of the particular fish stick that I needed to sell, and then I decided to print the posters with Barbara's face on it so that we would attract people wanting to buy her products. And I also finally upgraded the printer so it prints faster and I have more slots. Okay, so now we got our posters, we're redeeming some points, you know the drill, we're doing it, we're killing it, redeeming points with Tammy because it's Sunday. What else are you gonna do? Sleep? Why would you sleep when you could print posters and work on your trade deals? Day 43, it's Monday, so we're back in the shop, and I'm opening things up bright and early because I really want to get this fish stick goal going. It's not going well. I sold like 4 of them, but I made a lot of money. So now I'm like, okay, what if we just don't sell any other fish? Okay, I also got some rice. I'm like, let's just not sell any other fish, and then surely that'll be fine. Day 44, we're opening the store right away. Like, I'm really like waking up, running to Discounty, flipping on the switch. And I did not do much better on that day. I don't even know if I sold any fish sticks that day. And then I get the absolutely brilliant idea to remove all of the rest of my boosters except for the seafood booster. So I'm just stocking them in the back for now, and surely if I don't boost any of the other products but the fish, they will want to buy my fish, right? So on day 45, we're testing that hypothesis to see if it's true. And, you know, people were mad that I wasn't stocking everything for sure, but I did sell more of the fish sticks. So I sold 3 regular, and look at that, 13 impulse buys. So we hit our goal with just 1 go of it. Note to self, only equip what you need as far as boosters go. So I'm like, Barbara, I did your fishy sticks. And she said, okay, well, I can't actually give you the fish we use, but here, have the, like, I guess, like, it's the mix they make for the fish sticks. So I give it to Carl, and he's like, what is that? I guess this'll do for the oatmeal for the mythological creature, which is called Nis, by the way. I realize I haven't said that. So I wasn't paying attention. Carl told me exactly what I needed to make the oatmeal, okay? So I needed the gross fish stuff, I needed the apple, and I needed oats, okay? But I don't know why I blacked out during this whole thing. But at least, I did get an achievement of fully stocked because I unlocked the potatoes. And because I got the potatoes, now I own every single item in the game, which is very exciting. Okay, so yeah, we're all good. I'm telling Miss Anderson I finished stuff, and she's like, I don't care, you didn't finish all the stuff. She's like, you didn't finish all the stuff. So I still have to find out about the fog. The fog I have to find out about, and I also still owe her 15,000 shilling. So now we're learning about the fog. So I go to talk to Tammy about the fog, and she's like, I don't know what to tell you. She's like, fog? What? Coming from my factory? What? I don't know, girl. So I restored my store and just got to work, and, you know, we would deal with it later. So I go to talk to Elmer, and Elmer is freezing because the stork is still living on his chimney. So he's like, can you give me stuff to make a fire? So he wants a shelf. He wants 3 wooden shelves and 2 cardboard stacks. So I decided it was a perfect time to upgrade some of my shelves for the deeper ones so I can give Elmer my old ones, and it was time to recycle anyway. So quickly I was able to give Elmer everything he needed, and that's all I could do on day 46. Day 47, Elmer's feeling better. The stork has flown away, but that's okay. Elmer's like, okay, I can help you get this special report that tells you about the fog. We need to sneak into Tammy's office. Come to the park after work. So I do my day at Discounty, doing pretty good, making lots of money. We're almost at the $15,000 goal. Not quite, but we're almost there. We're getting rewards points, and even though I have all of the items, I don't have all of the extra pocket space, so I redeemed that. And there's just one more thing left to redeem. So then I met Elmer, and he's like, okay, I have the secret way, and the secret way to Tammy's office is underneath the statue. So I climb in, and oh my god, look at Tammy's office. My character is like, this is like a sci-fi movie. She's like some evil mastermind villain. And there it is, the report right on her desk. It's 200 pages, but the conclusion finds that the fog in the Ragged Forest is not harmful. Therefore, it cannot be attributed to the factory's admissions, and Lapley Manufactory is not guilty. Rather than, we want you to find all of the other things that are hurting Blomkest, which are all the things I figured out already. The fish population, the infected silo, everything. And what happens, what we learn here is Tammy held back this report to protect Barbara, Fisher, and even us at Discounty, and she has not been the villain all along because she's the only person not hurting the environment. So I run to tell Miss Anderson my findings, and she's like, I don't care, where's my 15 grand? So I'm on a mission to make 15 grand, and I do it because we're selling everything at Discounty now. Look, $2,014, ooh, crazy. So I'm ready to finally donate my money. And she's like, oh my goodness, great, yay. And so I completed this task, and I have to attend the town gathering tomorrow. So day 49, the shadowy figure comes back, and they're like, I was hoping that you'd find something incriminating on Tammy, and the shadowy figure wants me to lie and say that everything was all Tammy's fault. And to protect all of my friends, to protect Carl, protect Barbara, protect Fisher, protect everybody. Then I go and I get some trade points, and I realize there is a little statue you can get from each of your trade deals that boost the sales of their products, and they're very cute. Tammy's one is like just like a statue of her, so it's my new goal to make sure I get all of them. Then I come back to Carl, and I see this little bowl on the ground, but I can't click on it. But there are rats over here, and they're around the oatmeal bowl. So I'm told that I have to put the 3 ingredients to make the oatmeal in the bowl. But I didn't remember what they were. I knew it was oats and an apple, and then I couldn't remember the last thing was the fish stick mixture. So I suffer for like a little bit trying to figure that out. But most importantly, here we are, folks. It's day 49. We are gathered for this trial where I have to come up to the stand and say who is behind the town being ruined. And I have the big decision to either blame Tammy for everything or to blame all of us. So pretty much, am I going to lie or am I going to tell the truth? Even though I've done a lot of bad things in the game, I end up choosing to tell the truth. And Miss Anderson's like, give me the names! And I call out everybody for their part. I call out Fisher for his over-eager production of fish. He's been fishing more than he's allowed to. And he's like, I know, I'm sorry. Barbara's dumping fish waste into the ocean. And she's like, I have to speak to my lawyer about this. Carl is not dealing with his divorce well, and so he's blaming this farm slack on a mythological creature that Soruna helped poison, like, the water in there. And she's like, I didn't do anything. So everybody is at fault, and even me at discounty, which is what Miss Anderson is getting at. So I say, Tammy did nothing wrong. Should she have a plastic factory in the middle of the forest? No. The fog is a naturally occurring phenomenon, and she's actually the only one not destroying the environment, which is a crazy twist. And here I am about to take responsibility for my part of it. And then Teller comes in and she's like, this is my fault. I pushed pay to expand. We shouldn't have done it. I didn't want to put a strain on our local environment. It was selfish. We're not going to do that. You know, we're good enough. We're not going to expand discounty. And then Hilda's like, we should do something to come together. The fair was canceled, but like, let's put the fair together. And then I couldn't believe I got the achievement for finishing the game on day 49. And I was like, wait a second, what? Because keep in mind, I thought I was making a 100-day video at this point. I was like, day 50? We're done? I can't believe it. But don't worry, this is when the crazy part of the video begins. So my last day is the main story. We're having a celebration. Chester is even running the lemonade stand, this time with real lemonade. So I went to talk to my friends a bit before ending the game, and Hilda says something about like being like the mysterious figure, like she knows what's up. And then Miss Anderson also says something sus about like, ooh, I really wish Tammy got caught. And I'm like, who was the shadowy figure? Was it Hilda or was it Miss Anderson? Or was it everybody? I don't know. We didn't figure that out. I think it was Hilda based off of like the sus little comment that she made. But anyway, here we are. We're all celebrating Long Live Blomkest. And then the credits rolled. And little did I know, I'm just gonna let you look at the credits for a second. You can definitely go play the game and see the whole thing. I was not aware that when I want you to know it was like 2 a.m. when I was playing. I'm in the credits for the trailer voice acting. I was like, oh my god, you're kidding. I have not been in game credits before, so that made me feel so special. Then 3 days later, for the sake of the video, we're just gonna still call it day 51 because it's too confusing, okay? Now we can continue. They let me know I can continue to run the store and finish my achievements. So we're moving our attention to doing all the achievements. And this is a struggle because this is my first time actually looking at them throughout the whole video. The first one made sense to me. Let's finish the rats. So I figured out that the rats needed the fishy sticks as the last ingredient, and I unlocked the rats by the farm. But there was still one more location that had rats that I hadn't discovered. I knew there were a couple spots around town that had rats, but they didn't have a sewer, so that wasn't the right spot. You do still have to keep running your store throughout all of this, so I couldn't ignore these responsibilities. But I'm actually trying to do a couple goals at once, okay? One of my main goals, and this is the most challenging goal in the game, is to have a day in Discounty where every single reaction is a loved reaction. So that's when you have the heart eyes, not just the smiley. This is me going for another achievement, which is to fill the entire truck with deliveries. And it looks like I was literally 1 square short. Here's me even counting to make sure I know for next time that I should order enough boxes to get this achievement. You'll also start to notice an increase of apples. Why? Because one of the goals we have left is to sell 365 apples. And at this point, I've sold about 100. Also, there's the Tammy statue I was talking about. Isn't that cute? Here I am getting an achievement for holding up traffic for an hour. So now we're up to 11 out of 17. And then, in case you were wondering about teller and the shed, it ended up being nothing. It ended up just like being her like ex-husband's or ex-boyfriend's old stuff. Like, it was a tease. And then I still have more cutscenes, and Cornelius was embarrassed that his relative was a fraud, and I was like, don't be, it's okay. And then we had this very telling cutscene with Miss Anderson, where she's complaining about the environment, and she's like, maybe I'm just some crazy old lady with a raccoon for a cat. She knows. She knows. And she's talking about, yeah, how she hates the factory back here. So yeah, as you can see, even though the game is still technically done, I'm still getting all of the character arcs. So we're learning more about Solruna and her ritual site, about her energy, and I'm like, maybe you should, you know, sell energy-infused furniture, you know? Then we have a cutscene with Chester where he's vandalizing because he hates Elmer, which is fair, we know that. And, okay, this is where the drama starts, okay? As you can see, this person, their name is Emily, gave me a smiley reaction instead of a loved reaction. But here's the main problem. Gina, it's 17:51, the store's been closed, and she gives me a whole mountain of groceries to check out, and then she's just smiley. Because what happens is when it gets too close to closing, they're not that happy. They're like just smiley. And then I got my achievement for ordering a whole truck of stuff, which was good. So now we're at 12 out of 17. And I finally had enough points for the last redeem, so I got the fancy posters. I bought a lot of apples. The apple goal was not my priority at this time. I figured, like, we're gonna have to stock a lot of apples, but let's just, like, slowly work on that while we work on the other stuff. My main priority, to find the rest of the rats. And I did. On day 53, not a rat, but I found another sheep. So I had to go ask Carl, why is there a sheep? I thought I found all your sheep. And he's like, that's Sleepy Dora. She sleeps. But I've heard that if you give her something, maybe she won't sleep. And I'm like, ooh, I bet I have something to give her. I think I know exactly what to give her. But we'll come back after I hang up some posters. I'm trying to boost the sales of everything. I'm trying to attract more customers so that I can sell apples, while also still trying to have a perfect day, trying to make sure I stock everything. And I don't know, folks, that I quite grasp the logic of when it's a perfect reaction and when it's a smiley reaction. Because I thought at first it was, I need to scan it perfectly, like I can't get red, it has to be green, like I can't accidentally scan the wrong side. That didn't seem to matter. So then I was like, maybe it's my speed, which I think does matter a little bit, but I also think it has something to do with like the layout of the store still maybe wasn't quite good enough. I don't know, but Gina was just ruining it every time. I thought I was brilliant because I was gonna give the sheep coffee, like coffee beans, and I'm like, wait, why would that wake it up? It's just coffee beans. Let me give them the energy drink. So I gave Sleepy Dora the energy drink and she ran away, which of course unlocked the final sewer. And because of that, I solved the rat issue. Wouldn't it have been so nice if I solved that during the course of the main story? Absolutely. And so here is the achievement for that one. And now we are continuing to make our way through the rest of the achievements, and I'm buying some boosters for the apples. Again, this is not my #1 goal at the moment, but I'm like, we might as well work on it while we're doing the other ones. So I'm stocking all my apples. The stockroom is getting a little ridiculous, but it's okay. And then I have the bright idea to work on another one of the achievements, which is to clean up 10 messes in a day. I've noticed that at max, you get like 2 or 3 messes in a day. So what I decided to do is for the next bunch of days, I'm not cleaning up any messes, and eventually maybe we'll get to 10 and then I'll clean them all up in one day. So because of that, we're gonna trash the store while still hoping for perfect reactions. What a great idea. Also, it's not going well. I think I'm nervous at this point, and I'm screwing up with the scanning. Gina's still ruining my day. But at least I have 3 spills as I'm going into day 55. My rest of the time in Discounty is pretty much running to open the store immediately, every single day. And also, if the days of the week look messed up, it's because in the post game, for some reason, every day, it's like 3 days later. But then eventually it stops doing that. So again, just follow my count. Don't look at the days of the week. On Sunday, I'm checking into my trade deals, and I get the little statue for Barbara, which is so cute. Like, you need to see it. It's like this green fish thing. I'm just putting him back here for now. He's so cute. I also decided to take out all of the boosters again to try to just boost the apples. I got a loved reaction from Tammy finally, which is great. And so the problem lies with Gina, who's strolling to the register. Oh, just kidding. Gina wasn't the problem today. It was Emily. Look, Emily. Gina and Emily are a pair that haunts me every day. Cornelius doesn't always come. We could yell at him today, but for the most part, it's Tammy, Gina, and Emily that destroy this challenge for me. I decide to visit Ted and I buy some magnificent shelves because I think maybe that'll make people want to buy apples. It doesn't really, but that's okay. I unlock more of the skill perks for Carl. I'm still cooking, and I got the little statue for him. So now I'm almost at all of the statues in the game. Opening my store, I did a bad job today. I was out of things, but hey, at least we're getting stains on the floor, so it's fine. Day 59. Slowly but surely making our way to stock things, and Miss Anderson is the problem today, as is Tammy, as is Emily. They were not happy with me. The main problem seems to just be it takes them too long to get to the checkout. Gina ruins my day on day 60. She's still my #1 hater, because at least the other people, like Emily, she's never happy either, but at least she doesn't have a million items, you know? So day 62, the people are walking real slow. You know, there's stains everywhere. It's a tripping hazard for sure. Solruna is here, and she's not mad at me today, though she's often mad at me too. And I'm still just getting neutral reactions. On this day, I counted, and I actually had 10 spills, so I decided to clean them up after my shift, and I quickly noticed nothing happened, and that I didn't get the achievement. So, miraculously, my game put itself to the main menu, and I restarted the day. And for some reason, when I only cleaned like 1 or 2 of the spills, I got the achievement. So we got the achievement for cleaning the 10 different spills. We're doing it. At least we got that. Then I finally get a clue about using the fridges in the way they're intended, because people are taking a long time over in that side of the store. So my logic is, if I make it less of a fire hazard and there's more walking space, maybe they'll be faster, they'll get to the register quicker, and then they'll be more happy. That didn't happen on day 63, so now day 64, we're giving it another go. Here's one of the problems too. People like let each other go first, and then they take a long time, so we're still just like, every day, everybody's happy except for like the last 2 customers. So I resort to moving the coffee machine, and look at this. Tammy's just standing there, and everybody's getting mad. Like, she's just standing there waiting for Cornelius to go ahead of her. And so because of that, it screwed everybody behind. And now they're all upset, and now I don't get the perfect reaction. So it's fine. No, it's good. No, but it's fine. But it's fine. But it's fine. The stock room is a mess. It's a disaster. My inventory is full, but we're gonna go to bed and we're gonna try again tomorrow. I have resulted to chasing people with the coffee machine at this point to see if I can get them to go faster, and yet I still cannot. There are no spills, I have everything stocked, and Gina still isn't happy. Gina still isn't happy, and she's the only one. Everyone else was happy but Gina. So, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay, and it's fine. Okay? The days go on, and I continue to be frustrated by my lack of perfect reactions. The day I finally get Gina, it's Miss Anderson that's the problem. Miss Anderson, who, mind you, is the first customer in the store, doesn't check out until 17:35. And here I am wanting to commit a violent act, but I'm like, no, Pay. I decide, let's try to chase people again with the coffee machine to see if that makes it better. It doesn't. It doesn't. Instead, I'm just redirecting the traffic patterns to more complicated ways. And I just can't win. Gina screws me again on day 70, day 71. And I'm over here like, we need to do something different. You know what I mean? We need to do something different. What if I do a bad job on purpose? Because when I do a good job of checking people out, my car goes up. And when my car goes up, I get more customers. Maybe I have too many customers. So I decide on day 71, I'm not going to serve a single customer. I'm going to stand here and watch them all make a line so I can tank my customer approval rating so that like nobody shows up. And that way I have less customers to deal with. And maybe with less customers, I can get perfect reactions. The problem maybe is just I have too many customers, too many items that I'm trying to do in one day. So they stay here for a while. 17:55, they're all still here, they're all in line, and I'm not budging. And for some reason, and I think this was a glitch, but I think I deserve it, I got the achievement. I got the selling with a smile achievement, where the only reaction I got was a heart reaction. I don't know why it gave it to me, because technically I got no reactions this day. So I don't know if it was just like someone was shopping, and while they were shopping, they loved something. I don't know, but I think I deserved it, so we're gonna take it. And with that, there's just one goal left, and it's to sell 365 apples. Now, I don't remember on day 72 how many apples I had sold, but not nearly enough. So I come up with a strategy of we sell nothing else but apples. I couldn't put all these coolers away, so I decided to put them in a corner and be empty, and everything else was gonna be apples. This was definitely hard to do because Chester restocks the shelves, so I had to tell him not to. I also passed out for the first time, it wasn't that big a deal. And here I am, day 1 of our apples only store. Because surely, in my brain, yes, people will be upset that I don't have potatoes or I have coffee, but maybe they'll just buy apples. And oh, they sure did, because I've been selling an apple a day, but today, I sold 25 apples. I also got Fisher's poster, so because of that, I have all of the little statue things, and that's pretty cool. That wasn't an achievement, but in my brain it was. So day 74, I'm right to it. I had a terrible customer approval rating because I only sell apples. Welcome to Pepe's Apple Store. But look at me, 29 apples. 29, baby. Day 75, the Apple Store continues. And I'm selling apples like hotcakes, baby. Yeah, they're mad about it, but they're still buying the apples. And on day 76, I had no idea how many apples left I needed to sell because I told myself it was gonna drive me crazy if I kept looking. Let's just keep playing until I sell all the apples. And it took just a couple apples to get my goal of selling an apple a day. And because of that, I have now hit 17 out of 17 achievements in Discounty, and it took me 76 days. So no, there wasn't 100 days, but I did play close to it, trying to get every achievement. So for the very final time, I left my Discounty shop absolutely ecstatic. I want to point out that this entire playthrough was mainly me playing 3 days in one go because I did not want to stop playing. That's how much fun I had, and I feel so accomplished. And there you have it. That was me 100%ing Discounty. For the record, it took 18.4 hours of in real life time across 76 in-game days. Now, you may have heard through the commentary that I was not expecting to do the 100%ing. This video was going to be I played 100 days of, but then I learned at 50 days that there were not going to be 100 days, and I shifted gears. So I do think I could have gotten these achievements much faster if this was my goal from the beginning, so don't judge me too harshly. But overall, I had such a fun experience with Discounty. It was definitely different than I thought it was going to be. I did think it was going to be a little bit more open-ended, like we could play on and on and on for a while longer, but I did really like the narrative and I enjoyed every second of playing, even when I was raging at Gina. But let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like the video if you remotely enjoyed it, and subscribe if you find me mildly interesting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!